On the largest video-sharing website abroad, a Japanese travel blogger posted several videos about traveling in China. Before coming to China, the blogger was actually very scared because he's Japanese, and he had been bombarded with negative news about China from the internet, so much so that before he even left, he was seriously worried he might not make it back alive. So, he posted on his social media that he was going to China. As expected, Japanese netizens strongly opposed it. This made the already nervous blogger even more scared, but he was determined to go to China and see for himself. The blogger complained that he couldn't use foreign apps in China, like Google Maps and such. He also heard that China doesn't accept cash, only mobile payments. This felt super inconvenient to him. Even though he had downloaded Chinese apps in advance, he was still worried that, if they didn't work, until he got on the plane. The advice from netizens still haunted him. He didn't dare to sleep the whole flight. He kept his camera on to make sure everything was safe. Finally, the plane landed, and the blogger felt even more nervous. He was afraid he'd be mistaken for a spy and arrested. He even started speaking in a lower voice. He looked super shady too. For safety's sake, when going through security, he put away his camera. That was when his anxiety peaked. Luckily, the spy drama didn't happen. He passed through smoothly. But the blogger was still super cautious. He kept his head down and walked quickly the whole way. By now, it was already 2 a.m. Not daring to take a taxi, the blogger decided to wait at the airport for a few hours until the subway started running again the next day. On his way to the hotel, he could only rest on a chair by the door, looking super uncomfortable. At 6 a.m., the blogger got up right on time. Actually, he didn't sleep at all. He was too scared, and the chair was uncomfortable. Even though he downloaded Chinese apps beforehand, he was still terrified because he had never really used them. With that anxious feeling, the blogger ventured into his beginner's village for his first attempt. His stomach was full, but he was scared. He made it through the beginner's village with ease. The blogger's heart finally calmed down. In that moment, he even felt like crying, with the map app guiding him. The blogger got on the subway to Nanjing East Road. After his first successful station entry, he was feeling pretty smart. He even gave a mini tutorial to his foreign followers on how to ride the subway. After leaving the subway, the blogger finally stepped onto the streets of Shanghai. He was immediately blown away. The streets were not only big but also very clean. It was nothing like the China he had imagined. On his way to the hotel, the blogger complained about the Shanghaiandis fighting for seats on the subway. Well, don't make a kid. You know the US Adoga. You play the same as somebody passing by a shop. The blogger smelled something delicious, so he went in for breakfast. Ah, it's so good.